Hello, my name is Denys Chernyshov, and this is Eternity Live Forum's interview with speakers who will perform at the forum at 11th of November 2022. Eternity Live Forum is a major event, a concentration of experience, knowledge, and research from a number of scientists who will present the latest developments in and ways to increase life expectancy and perhaps achieve immortality. So we are glad to welcome our viewers to an interview with an interesting person, great professional, Ph.D. in pharmacology and biochemistry, Nathan Bryan. Hello, Nathan.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for having me. It's great to be with you.
Thank you. And Nathan, our forum is dedicated to research and new discoveries in life extension and immortality. What research are you currently undertaking in life extension?
Well, I've spent my entire professional career studying nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that's naturally produced in the body of humans, in fact, all mammals. And what the science has revealed is that it's the loss of nitric oxide as we age that's the cause for all age-related human disease, including cardiovascular disease, the #1 killer of men and women worldwide. Loss of nitric oxide responsible for diseases such as vascular dementia and Alzheimer's, heart disease, liver disease, kidney disease, diabetes. So all the major, really poorly managed chronic diseases that the world faces today can all be traced back to a lack of production of nitric oxide. So I spent the past 25 years on trying to figure out how to replete and restore nitric oxide in the human body.
Well, very interesting. And is there any tangible progress in life extension research already?
Well, if you look at kind of the metrics or the biometrics of life extension and kind of and longevity, there are three main hypotheses. So number one is telomeres. The telomeres at the end of the chromosomes with each cell division get shorter. So it's known that the shorter the telomeres, the shorter the lifespan. The other emerging hypothesis is loss of stem cell function. So when we lose the ability to repair and replace our own cells, then we age and we get older and we develop cellular dysfunction that eventually develops into tissue and organ failure. And then the other is loss of mitochondrial function. But all three of these depend upon the production of nitric oxide. So nitric oxide controls the length of the telomeres. Nitric oxide tells our own stem cells to mobilize and differentiate. And nitric oxide is what controls mitochondrial function and energy production. So if your body can't make nitric oxide, then the consequence is you have mitochondrial dysfunction, you lose stem cell functionality, and your telomeres get shorter. So all of those are associated with a decreased lifespan, not just a decreased lifespan, but a decreased quality of life too. So what we're finding is if you can prevent the age-related decline in nitric oxide production or employ therapeutic strategies that restore nitric oxide, then you can prevent telomere shortening, maintain normal stem cell function to repair and replace dysfunctional cells and tissues, and we can restore the production of cellular energy in the form of ATP through the mitochondria. So there's over 190,000 publications on nitric oxide. So we've learned a lot in the past 20 or 30 years, and now we have technology to restore nitric oxide production in all humans.
That's great. Thank you. And which technologies do you consider are the most significant for life extension?
Well, there are a number of nitric oxide products that have been on the market for 20, 25 years. The problem with those products is most of them do nothing in regards to nitric oxide. So they provide substrates or precursors, but the problem is the human body has lost the ability to convert those into nitric oxide. So product technologies that contain things like arginine and citrulline typically do not work in a patient that's nitric oxide deficient. So what we've done differently is we've created technology that actually generates nitric oxide gas for you. So our whole guiding principle is if your body can't make nitric oxide, then we have to do it for you. But now we understand the enzymology and the biochemistry to the extent that we can restore normal endogenous production of nitric oxide. So I've developed technology that basically generates nitric oxide gas. It's the only technology on the market that you can verify and quantify nitric oxide gas being released from these products. We do this in the form of an orally disintegrating tablet that when you put it in your mouth, it takes about 5 to 6 minutes to completely dissolve. But as it's dissolving, it's generating nitric oxide gas. We can see dilation of blood vessels within a matter of seconds. We can see normalization of blood pressure, improvement in performance. We have a fermented beet powder that generates nitric oxide gas when placed in solution. We developed a topical nitric oxide serum that when you apply the serum, it's a dual chamber technology. When you combine these two components, they generate nitric oxide gas. This is a skincare and beauty product, but you can actually see it working right before your eyes. The skin will turn pink, which is reflective of an increase in blood flow and circulation. So you don't have to guess if these products are working. You can see them work before your eyes. You can feel them working immediately when you put them into, when you consume them. So our product technology is entirely different than anything else that's on the market.
That's great. Great news. Thank you. And maybe the most tricky question, do you believe that science and medicine are capable of achieving immortality for humans in the future?
Well, I don't think, there's no human that's immortal. So I don't think we can overcome mortality. But what I do think, and the science is very clear, we can certainly improve our quality of life and improve the quantity of life. So we can extend life, and more importantly for me, it's extending the quality of life. Because I think everyone would agree, no one wants to live to be 120 years old. If for the past 40 years, they're sick, they're bedridden, they can't enjoy that last 40 years. So our objective is really not always to improve or to extend life, but to extend the quality of life while you're here on this planet and on Earth. So that's our objective, is not to make us immortal, but to make us enjoy the time and have the health that we need on the time we're here.
Okay, thank you, understood. And which technologies do you think will support this extension of life most of all?
Well, I come with a very strong bias, but I think the science corroborates my thoughts, and that's that your body cannot and will not heal or perform optimally without nitric oxide. Because when you understand what nitric oxide does, it regulates oxygen and nutrient delivery to every cell in the body. It prevents the inflammation, oxidative stress, and immune dysfunction that's characteristic of every single human chronic disease. So if you don't restore the production of nitric oxide, then no other kind of strategy or modality to extend life or extend the quality of life is going to work. Nitric oxide is foundational. If you don't restore the production of nitric oxide, then nothing else will be optimized, and particularly nothing else will really work as effectively as it would if you first restore the production of nitric oxide.
Okay, thank you very much. And the last question, in your opinion, what do we need to investigate more at this stage in the study of life prolongation?
Well, you've got to look at, you got to analyze the data, right? So I never argue with the data. It's always the interpretation of data that's subject to different opinions and different interpretations. So if you look at what's killing most people on the planet today, it's still cardiovascular disease, #1 killer of men and women worldwide. And so it's very clear that what leads to cardiovascular disease is loss of nitric oxide production. And then secondarily, you get the plaque deposition, you get plaque instability, the inflammation that leads to plaque rupture, and that's heart attack and stroke and cardiovascular disease. So we have to understand the mechanism of human disease. And now we do. And we know how to overcome the root cause of every single chronic disease. So it's not that the science is missing, it's the application and the integration of the science into patient care. And I think that's where my mission now comes in, is because we clearly know how to do this. For me, it's about education and information, getting the information in the hands of the, whether it's policymakers or individual physicians and healthcare practitioners, so that they can now introduce this technology into their patient practice. And I think it's then and only then will we be able to see an improvement in longevity, but more importantly, an improvement in the quality of life and better management of chronic disease.
Okay, thank you very much for such an interesting conversation, and see you at the Eternity Life Forum.
Yep, thank you, Denys. Look forward to it.
Thanks.